Okay, one of the things I'd like to talk to you guys about is when you're editing something, uh, like an event like this that Joel filmed. Very emotional, obviously, with someone who's died here, passed away. We're looking for something that is going to be moving and also maybe a little artsy, slow motion type things, just so that it feels a little bit more sympathetic and heartwarming. So I've just imported all of the work. I haven't looked at any of this yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of walk you through this. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to get rid of anything here on the screen that's going to distract from my edit. So and this over here looks a little confusing for those who haven't used the correction over here, which are called wheels. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that by pressing here. That's the inspector, or you can hit Command 4 to get rid of that. And then over here is the browser, and you can press this to get rid of that. So now you have a much cleaner screen. And I'm also going to drag this. Remember, this is very adjustable. You can adjust these things so that you can see better. All right. So now I'm just going to go through this, and I'm not going to, I'm going to go ahead and listen to and watch some of it here. But, here we go. We got a nice slow motion, nice emotional. It says sad, epic, emotional music here. It's not bad, not bad. And it looks like he may have filmed this, I'm guessing at 60 frames per second and slowed it down, but I'm going to take a look. And how you do that is we'll click on one of the clips. I'm going to expand it by hitting Command plus on the keyboard and then hit Command R. Yeah, so he slowed it down by 50%. Now, if you open up the inspector up here and click on this, it'll tell you, here, it'll tell you about that clip. And it does say that it was at 60 frames per second. So that gives you an opportunity here to slow it down considerably to give it more dramatic effect. That's done a lot in like wedding films, things like that, to make it look more dramatic and romantic sort of thing. Of course, romance is not what we're looking for here. But here we go. It looks really good. And in this situation, since this is a summer edit, we don't really worry much about how much airtime this is going to take, because normally our episodes are 10 minutes, and something standalone like this is not a problem. Okay, so as I watch this, pretty much the same or similar shots left in throughout the edit, and that's okay because this is a balloon release for Anastasia, or is it Anastasia? Okay, Anasia? Is that what? Well, anyway, that's the name here. I don't know if that's right, but good coverage, and respectful coverage where he's a good distance away, getting a nice shot. This stuff here, the hugs definitely are good. I like to see a close up of that. That would have been nice to have a close up of any emotional parts of this. Okay. And again, filming during the day can be quite challenging because you're using that view screen and it's very bright and it's hard to see. Looks like he did use a tripod here, or I'm sorry, monopod to keep it steady. Maybe he handheld it, I don't know, but he did a great job with that. Now, I know it looks a little fuzzy here because when I'm playing it, it's not playing at full resolution, and I am cranking this up quite a bit to make it a little bit bigger. But again, here, let's just check the speed. He did this at normal 100% speed, which is fine. That's no big deal. I like his slow zoom outs, nice. Okay, one of the things I'm going to do here is show you guys how to help fix this audio. Okay, so as you can see, he ducked what's called ducking the audio down here. The music, nice touch. Here, you want to come up to the audio icon and go to voice isolation and loudness. Okay, now we'll play that again. Okay, I'm going to undo my changes here and then play that again. Now, you can't really hear it that well through this microphone that I'm using, but it is substantially better. Oops, I meant to go forward and redo my changes. So let me go back to that. All right, let's go back to Coach Talking And I messed that up pretty good. All right, here we go. So click back on that, and I'm going to hit undo or redo. There we go. Now listen to it. Okay, I'm going to undo my changes here. See, there's without the filter. With it, it's so much better. And also, I would like to see a lower third here to tell me who this person is. That's important. I believe he's a coach at Sam. I'll ask Joel to make that change. And then here we go. And this looks like the actual release here. They're doing a countdown, I think. Well, look at all the cars. Oh, I don't know if that's for summer school too or what's going on. But nice little pan sideways though, Joel. Like what happened there? It's not straight at all. Look as he gets this way, it's very tilted. Your horizon is way off here. That's kind of strange. Maybe there's a reason for that. Okay, I'm going to do so. That was just a look out over what all the people there is, kind of an overall shot. Now again here, what I'm going to do is come up here to hit voice isolation and loudness, and you can see it tweaked the waveforms there. You see, now it's so much better. All right, now we're going to come to this, and I'm going to do the same thing here, voice isolation and loudness. And I'm going to turn, I guess he's already turned it up a good bit here. You don't want it to get into the yellow too deeply, like this area here, because that peaks it. And you can see here he's done the fade in and out of every audio clip. That's excellent because it doesn't pop. So I'm going to go ahead and zip through this. Come over to here. This gets emotional here. All right. Now again, voice isolation and loudness. But we need to identify these people. We need to have names. Okay.
Never think, never understand, never conjure up in your mind what it would be like to look at your child.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine that. I've got 3 kids of my own, and I can't imagine that ever happening and how I would deal with it. Okay, I'm going to bring this down just a bit because it's peaked. I'm going to undo that because it looks like even though it's peaked, it's okay because we need that extra volume there because it's kind of weak in between. Oop.
So you're stronger, and there's something else I'm making you here to do.
Okay, now I hate to leave him cutting off the last, like he's about to say something. I'm going to trim this just a bit so that.
To do.
And also, I think I'm going to, if there's a little more, no, he didn't catch that. Darn it. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do here is see what speed he's at. He's at 100% speed here. Wow. Okay, and that's at 100%. It's not even slowed down. Wow. It looks like it's slowed down, but what great music with that. Very dramatic and emotional. Beautiful stuff here. I even like, well, that would have been really cool to end it with those balloons fading out like that. And he did. Whoa. Rest in love. Anasia? Anasia? Is that how you pronounce it? Anasia? Okay. Oh, wow. And he did it in a silhouette type thing. How beautiful. My gosh, this is amazing stuff here, pal. Okay, so he did a 360. This, we may have to change that because it's intended for a 360 video, but it doesn't really bother me here. All right, so this is my run through of it here. Again, it's not rendered, so... But what a beautiful way to end. Now, I'm going to steady this and slow this down, okay, because that would really help this shot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out to the full 40, which is automatic speed for this. Another way to do it, I'm going to hit undo, is if you click here and you go to here and go automatic speed, it's going to run it out to the frames per second that it can use for a sequence like this, because this is a 24 frames per second sequence and it's shot at 60 frames per second. It should pop it out to 40%, and it does. There it is. So I'm going to bring the music out, and then I'm going to do some things to make this look more dramatic here in a minute. But I'm also going to do a little bit more of that, just a hair bit more. I love how it disappears into the sky like that. Okay. Excellent job, Joel. All right, here we go. Still going with this. Again, my first time looking at this, which is really the best way to do anything like this, so you get my first impression. Balloons are floating away slowly. And also, I think what would be good is to do a fade out at the end instead of it just stopping. So also what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make it a little more dramatic here. So I'm going to click here and then go to the browser over here for transitions. And I want to do what's called, you go into dissolves, fade to color. And that is a fade to black, basically here, okay? So you can change the color, but I think a fade to black looks... Actually, a fade to white might be more appropriate for that. Let's try a fade to white. I forgot how to do that. Let's see, click there. Oh, color. There you go. Click up here and go to, you can fade to blue. I'm going to go to white, click right there. So now when it goes out, that's cool, because it seems much more uplifting than fading to black. Now, another thing I'm going to do here, what I like to do overall in an entire video, so I'm going to show you here, you click on the sequence here, hit Shift Z on the keyboard. That way you get everything fitting right in front of you here. Come up and open up the browser again, which is this button on the right. And you need to go up to Titles and go to, it's under Titles Custom, and grab your adjustment layer, drag it down, and drag it completely across this, okay? And what you're going to do is it's going to bump the titles above it, which is good because you don't want the titles to get treated by this thing. So an adjustment layer is very cool. This thing will change the entire video without having to do it to each one or do a compound clip. And also you can name this so you know what filter's on it. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm putting it over the whole top. And then I'm going to come over, and this is something that should be standard on everyone's computer. And if it's not, well, you need to add it, is this soften skin thing. And what this does, it gives a softer look to everything. Now I'm going to show you, like, for example, here, it just softens the edges. So look at the people in that, and then I'm going to turn this off by hitting V, and it just softens it slightly. It gives it a dreamier sort of feel, makes it look more like film than video. And it really helps people's skin too. So like, here's Coach here, at least I believe it's Coach. And I'm going to turn off the softening. Again, it's hard to tell there, but it does soften just slightly. And it's actually the filter called Cartoon. But it just softens digital noise a bit and makes it look more film, more like film, like this here. Looks more film-like. Now if I hit V, you see how much sharper it takes away some of the sharpness, which you would think, hey, why would you want to take away sharpness? Well, that does actually help in situations like this. So I'm going to zoom in on this last part, okay? And this is the silhouette balloons going up. And I'm going to go into color. And I think the best thing for me to do here is to go to, no, I'm in wheels. I need to go to color board and go to saturation, and I'm going to raise it. Okay, see, look what it's under the sky. Like here, there's no color, and then there's tons of color. Now, in this situation, it's probably okay to amp up the color because there's no people in it. If there was a person in it, they would look very strange. They'd look like a clown right now. So that's probably too much. This is the dark end of it. This is the lighter end of things. So it did add a punch to the clouds, but you don't want to make it look too crazy here. That looks pretty good. And also color here adjusts different aspects of it, which we can make it a little more dramatic. A little more dramatic sunset there. That's not bad. It's probably too much though. I don't know. I'm going to stick with that and then go back to exposure and bring up the whites just a bit because it made it look muddy a little bit there. But look at that. Okay, now we'll watch that. And it's just so much more dramatic, slow motion. And also what I should do is go in here and do, try to stabilize this a bit, okay? So I'm just going to click on standard stabilization and see what it does for this clip, okay? It'll take a bit of time to, no, not too bad, okay. And here it is stabilized. All right. Absolutely beautiful. Fantastic work. I just want to see the names of the people speaking. So you're gonna have to look into that. Look at that beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. 5 minutes long. Absolutely fantastic. Um, all right. Now, one other thing that I usually like to do here. Oh, whoa. Oh no. Okay, that something's wrong here. I did it to the entire adjustment layer. Wow, that's funky. Look what it did to the color. All right, that's my mistake. All right, so I've got to undo that. So I'm going to turn off color board and color wheels. All right, I did that to the adjustment layer instead of just to this. That was my mistake. I was wondering why it wasn't highlighted. Okay, so now we're going to try that again. It's still stabilized, but I'm going to make sure we do this right. Okay, go back to corrections, color curves. Nope, not curves. Color board, and go to saturation and raise that. Oh, am I not selecting that right? Let's make sure I got it. I've selected it. All right, saturation. It didn't make any visible. There we go. Now it's made the, okay. Bring this down just a bit. Bring up that white saturation just a hair. We don't want to make it too punchy. Go to exposure again. Bring up my highlight so it's not as muddy. Go to color and do what I did before, which was somewhere around there. All right, so now, yeah, you always got to check that. You don't want to do it to everything. All right, nice. Now go back out and make sure nothing else is screwed up. Yeah. I think we also need a title here. Joel, something at the beginning, which would be great. All right, it still says analyzing motion. Why would it be doing that? I don't think I did that right too. I got to make sure. Distort form color board. Yeah, I don't have motion on there. It must be the last clip is still getting analyzed for stabilization. All right. Trying to figure out what else is trying to be stabilized. As analyzing for motion here. Oh, I think this is something that he did. Okay, that it's trying to do for, yeah, for what Joel did here. All right. So anyway, long video, but I want you guys to watch this. Very important parts. You're trying to establish what's going on here by building it slowly here, and then getting directly into some very emotional things here. Now, one thing I would recommend doing is throwing in a slight vignette, except for stuff that's in the sky. So what I'm going to recommend here, I'm going to go ahead and do another adjustment layer, put it on top, and you can name these if you want to. You can click here and say, and change the name of the clip. And you can say vignette, and what I'm using is vignette medium, so I'm going to put VIG and medium, like that. Okay, and you don't want to put it on things that have white edges, because that will mess things up. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab it over here. It should be in the Texan TV collection. If you don't have it, you need to import it into your computer. And then you just simply take this and drag it over it. Now you can see the difference it made. See, it gives it a little bit, like if I click here, it gives a little bit more dramatic look to it. And as it moves, you don't really notice that it's there. Okay, like here, again, coming in and then it's off. It's just a slight touch, which will make it look more cinematic. So I'm just going to drag that across here. And, when there's a lot of white edges there, like this one here, it might not look good, but actually it looks okay. Looks okay. It's not great. Actually, I'm just going to take that off of there, and I think it's better without it, because it gives that balloon a kind of a brown edge to it. So you just go back to where it's not showing that anymore. You don't need it with white edges. So another tip here that I want to show you is that you can, instead of having to redo this, you click on it, hold down the Option key, and drag, and then keep holding down the Option key, and you've made a copy of the adjustment layer. Okay. And then you can stick it on the other part here. And then there you go. So added a nice touch to that. I'm going to take it all the way down to when they're speaking and before they release the balloons with the white sky, because it's not going to look right with the white sky in there. But this will add a nice dramatic look. So I'm just simply dragging it across. Okay, so you don't want to do it here, because look what it does. It's got the edges are dark and it looks kind of strange. I think it looks much better without it. So again, just drag it back, put it there, and it gives a nice little vignette to the entire shot. And here too, I might go ahead and saturate these colors too. Okay, as they fly away like this, I'm going to go ahead and go to color and go into wheel. I'm sorry, I keep going to wheels. I meant board, and just go to saturation and try to make it a little more. I mean, it looks, more saturated here is good. We want to make sure the white of the sky isn't affected by it. So you just have to sort of, like if I crank that up all the way, that does change a little bit of it, but not much. And there we go. So that did punch that color up considerably. Looks very nice. Look at the glowing balloons now. All right, so then I'm going to scroll down here, and it comes to this where it kind of fades white. I love that drop focus pull to this. I'd say try to find something that doesn't fill the screen quite as much. I'm going to back that off just a bit here because I think it's probably just a little bit too big for this title here. So I'm going to make the font a little smaller. It just seems to be forced into the corners there. And there we go. And of course it looks more like that when it's not rendered. And then here we go with the fantastic work here. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm doing this because I want everyone to take a look at it. You can also go into season 11, look in our first episode folder, or inside that season has all this content. If you would like to try to take a stab at this work and see what you can do with it. And I think that would be a great idea. I'm going to encourage Joel to have you do your own version of this. All right, thank you, everybody. And remember, you always are outputting the XML file. So you come up here, and let's say this is it here, and it has this weird symbol because I'm using adjustment layers on it. Okay, so I'm going to click here, and I'm going to do what I call you come here and you do a snapshot project. Okay, and I'm doing that because it tells you what time it was done exactly, and it keeps all those settings right there. And I'm also going to put on the end. I'm going to go all the way to the end and put Pellerin on there so everyone knows that I did this this take of it. Okay, and I'm going to send this to Joel now. But what you do is you click on it, come up here to File, Export XML. Okay, and now that this is the newest version of the software, what you're going to want to do is do two different versions. So do the current version and hit, I'm going to save this. I have it for OneDrive. I mean, that's a place where I save some of my stuff. But I'd recommend you just put it on your desktop, hit save, and then do the same thing with the previous version. And that's important in case someone has older Final Cut Pro, and this will allow you to use it. Okay, it says replace. All right, what I need to do is put here is something after it. That's where it has the slashes in there. That's not going to translate well. And put old here, or I guess I should put really version 1.10 like that. So that's the older version of Final Cut Pro, and that's that. And then I will hide this, and then I would then drop it in here. So what I'm going to do here is Joel's communication here, and I'm not sure which version he sent me, but I'm going to send both to him. So what I do is take these two, select it, drag it onto WhatsApp like this, and it should prep the message. Didn't do anything. Okay, maybe one at a time. Okay, I'm going to do this one at a time here. Hello. Maybe you have to do something different. All right, maybe I have to, I probably have to compress it first and then put it in there. All right, never mind. I'm just doing it wrong. I have to hit attach and then look for document. There we go. Now I'm going to go back to my desktop, see if I can find it, and I've zipped it. It's probably better to send a zipped one, and like that. And then I'm sending that, and I'm going to send the other one. So I'm going to trash this and this version and send him this one. Let's see if I can just attach it. And I think it zips it for me. Let's see. Document, and that. Yes, it did. And there we go. So that's what you're going to want to do when you're sending stuff to Joel or to the staff, whoever it might be. This is a perfect way to do that. Okay. And then I can open it, he can open it, and he imports it into Final Cut Pro and can look at the edits that I've made. So good luck, everybody. Sorry it's a long video, but man, there's so many details here that are going to help you get these things done. All right, take care.